This one's long overdue, but here's a review of John Bolino version 1 from Mesmer Skates. So when I heard Mesmer was launching, I was very excited at the prospects of Billy and John having their own company and their own vision of showing the world basically their idea of what a skate team should be. When I found out it was a Throne, I was, to say, less than thrilled, because me personally, growing up, I was more of a Razor Colt skater, and back then, at least in this era, you're either a Colt skater or you're a Throne skater. Most people, if they liked Thrones, they hated Colts, or if they liked Colts, they hated Thrones. There was like really no in between. I enjoyed the Colt shell more often than so. They had kind of used the old boot, which I had liked more than the one they kept updating later in the USD world. And they had switched the sole plate, which made it look like kind of like a NIM sole plate or an SSM sole plate from back in the day. And me coming off the NIM SSM skate for so long, I love that sole plate. So I was harping at the prospects of trying to skate because I knew it wouldn't fit too well. I would say that the sole plate definitely improved my curiosity on wanting to try to skate. Pre-ordered the skates, they come in, got them, set them up, and I think I recall I had set them up originally with Oasis frames. Out the box, they fit slightly too big. I couldn't fit the Mesmer liner on my foot because I'm like in between a 10 and 11 kind of shoe, and I couldn't even get my foot into the liner. So I used these Intuitions that I had from previous skates. So they worked in there, but I had to put an extra insole to like make up for like the room in the shell. And as I was skating them, I noticed a couple things. They're really good for top sides. They have a lot of flex in the cuffs, and they're really good on like Farfignugan and Royale, or Farfignugan and torque-based trick. Out the box, I'm like, all right, maybe I can make this work. Maybe I'm like just an old stubborn skater, and I just gotta, step my game up. The more I skated it, though, there's just little things that I kept noticing. Like for me, at least, maybe it might have been the Oasis, but I tried it on a multiple different setup. When I would do Royales, I would just kind of like slip off, and in a way to where it might have been the groove on a sole plate, but like I would be like, I like to do Royales where I'm like really on it and I can like bend down, but like there were some times where I felt like I couldn't Royale anymore because like I was like not getting on top of it as much as I wanted to, and like just I felt generally unsteady with doing the trick. And initially also day one, the buckles. So the buckles they had originally came with were these super long cheap plastic buckles, and there is no shot in the world I was going to be able to skate with a buckle that doesn't have that clicking sound, and this thing was like super long. So I skated for a little bit, and then I decided to switch onto these old Razor buckles that I had. So they didn't really fit on correctly, so I had to drill a little bit of a piece in there to be able to put a second bolt in there for it. They felt a little bit better with different buckles. This is where my problem arose. So I was skating them randomly one day, and I was doing a trick, and I'm coming off a back torque, and I land, and my cuff bends all the way forward over and kind of stays there, like jagging, and it's like sticking into my Achilles tendon, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, and usually, you can like snap it back really quick, but at this point I could not, and I'm just like getting stabbed essentially in my ankle by the skate. I'm like, I had to like quick pull off my skate while I was at the skate park, and I'm just like, take it off my cuffs to be able to put this on there and put it back, and I'm just like, damn, that shouldn't happen. And then not only did it went that way, but it went backwards also to where I was doing a trick, and I like went to land it, it fell all the way back, and like the buckle went into my shin, and I'm just like, this is not a fun situation going on here. So I initially had problems with the cuffs, well, with the buckles, switched the buckles, and I had problems with the cuffs moving up and down. And at this point I'd go out to California and I'd skate it with Jay, and this is when we skated in Long Beach. And it's funny because I was just always saying to him how like I always have problems like losing the bolts on these skates, and while we were skating, he lost the bolt and I lost the bolt, but luckily we found them. But it's just like, this is like, I understand like an ongoing theme with my skates is that I should put Loctite in there, but again, like how many times do I have to tighten my skates and I have to worry about them just completely falling apart when I'm skating? And annoying. So after dealing with the cuff bolts, after dealing with that, I still thought maybe it might have just been the Oasis frame, which I didn't really enjoy well, which I liked on other skates, but I feel like with this setup it was like a little too high, or the Royale was just a little bit off. So I was like, maybe I could switch to an old Rossi's frame, because Rossi's frame were the frames I was skating actually up until Oasis and, or sorry, Wish. Sorry, I completely Oasis. Wish. Sorry, it's called Wish. But so I figured maybe it was like I need a lower frame, so went back to Old Faithful with the Rossi's frames, $15 holler, and skated them flat, and again it was just the same thing. Like, they just didn't feel right on my foot, and it got to a point where I was skating them and I'm just like, and the cuff thing kept happening where it kept bending over, and I was just so frustrated that I'm like, like, do I, like, because I was at a point where I was skating Colts and I went to these, and I'm just like, is this it for me? Because I don't think there's really a better option for me on the market. I wanted to skate my friend's skates. That, you know, I want to be, you know, representing these guys. Like, people want to see me on the streets, they always ask me like, what kind of skates do you ride? I want to be like, yo, these are Mesmers. Like, go order them online. But like, I couldn't. I would say go buy Mesmers. Like, I would tell people to do it, but in my head I'm like, But I know since then they fixed the cuffs. I remember because I was complaining to them nonstop about how much I hated the cuff, and they have improved it. I have not gotten a chance to skate any of the newer skates since the Bolino. Nick was skating the Dominic Rousseau of Dynovfr, and he pretty much enjoyed them. He skated them on one sole plate for durability, and for what I was skating them, the sole plate was really nice. Great for top size, great for sweat stances especially. I don't know why, just a weird trick. I couldn't miss sweat stances for some reason on ledges in that skate, and that's one of those ones where I usually die on that. Really buttery for front torques, didn't like them for backslides, and like for that it was like kind of killing point for me, because that's like one of my 3 tricks that I can do in skating anymore is the backslide. It's like backslide, Royale, and like alley-oop soul is like my whole trick vocabulary. And if I can't do one of those comfortably, or with like what I say no fear now, it's like the no fear aspect. I want to be able to go up to something, not have to think about trying it, and just do it. And where you have to put in like another layer where I have to skate up and think about like, is this going to be right for Royales? And it was like the exact moment. It's like the spot where Nick was doing the wall ride, there was a stupid little like dumb ledge, and I was trying to Royale, and I just was like, I just couldn't. Like, you know, Royales you can just run in, so you can force that Royale in there no matter what you're gonna slide. It just was like not working. And once again, it might have been the fact that I had Wish frames, the them frames. It might have been the fact that I was skating flat and not anti-rocker, or it might have been just the fact that it was the first version of the skate and it just didn't work well with my foot. But I just couldn't get over that, the aspect of the cuff and the aspect of not feeling comfortable like doing my grounds. I thought I was done skating. I was like, we're making another video and I don't think I can make a section. I'll just make a section of everybody else. Looks wise, they looked great looking down. If you like USD thrones, you're gonna love these. This is basically a throne with a way better sole plate, a way more durable sole plate. I love the graphic underneath. I feel like that's a step that we should have taken a long time ago with graphics. It's kind of like similar to, I don't want to like bring in another sport, but even biking and skateboarding, they have decals on their bikes, or they have decals underneath the board. It's kind of like similar to having one of those. It looks cool. You know, it's going to get shredded anyway, so, you know, it's kind of like a wheel graphic, but cool. I like how they did that. It's one of the first, and, you know, kudos. Price point, I think they were $400 when it came out. The new ones are way better. I got them in a size 10. I was probably in between like a size 9.5 and 10. So I wish there was like an in-between size of that, because I don't believe if I bought a size 9 I would be able to fit it correctly. That's another thing. I feel like if the skate fit me a little bit better, it would have worked out. I remember I tried them on like a couple months ago and I was like, I don't think I could do this. And I think if you even just switch the cuff, they might be alright. But shout out to the guys for doing their thing. I love their videos. I love everything they're doing with their image. It's just the skate personally just doesn't work for my foot. And I wish I could skate it. I really wish I could skate it, but it just doesn't work out for me. So the Mesmer John Bolino 1 for looks, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. It's great looking. For fit, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 for me. It doesn't fit me too well. I didn't like how high the cuff fit on my ankle. I didn't like how the cuff bent everywhere, every which way. I didn't like how the buckle was too long at first and just super flimsy when I tightened them. And overall in the shell, I just felt like my foot had a little too much room than I needed. Any liner, I feel like it would have been that way. Durability, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. Sole plate, damn near brand new, and I skated in a couple months. I know there's talks of some stuff coming out from them in the future, so pretty much stay tuned for that. But do I recommend them if you like thrones? If you like classic thrones, if you're a fan of the power slide model skates, you will really enjoy this skate. Me personally, I always have a problem with power slide products, whether it be a Kaiser frame losing all its bolts, USDs breaking my elbow, or falling apart on me, or shells cracking in the cold. Shout out Rudy, thank you. So in the Mesmer Bolino skate, try the new ones. That's all I can say. Watch his videos, try the new ones. But Bolino, you're my guy. Thank you. I always buy your skate, even if I can't skate it, I kept them. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more reviews of this in the future. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much about how my skates don't work for my feet, but until next time.